Hi. So basically, I haven't made a video in a while now, probably about a year or so. I just kind of, I don't know, the camera I was using back then broke, so everything just kind of went downhill from there. I tried using my computer's webcam for a bit. That didn't look too nice, but yeah, I've still been watching everybody's videos and stuff, you know, still really enjoying the community and all. Recently, I read a book, which you could probably tell what it is from the title of this video, but and I haven't seen too many people talk about it or anything, and I don't know, for some reason or another, it really, I really enjoyed the book, so I figured I'd put together a little review. So yeah, that book is Lazarus. Basically, it's kind of, I'm gonna review the story and stuff, so far, but I also want to do part of the review on this hardcover copy that came out. It's called the First Collection. So yeah, basically I'll go through the book and sort of give you my opinion on all that stuff, but I'll also tell you some of the incentives and stuff, and just kind of review the overall book as it's presented in the hardcover version. So yeah. Okay, so I'll give you a quick synopsis before I jump into all the review stuff. Basically, it's we can't really say post-apocalyptic because we're not too sure of the events that led to how the world is in this book, but I guess a dystopian near future type book where the world is split up into different mafia what's the word, patriarchal families that sort of govern different regions, and they're in charge of everything, you know, distributing the goods through the people and shit like that. Our story in Lazarus focuses around the Carlisle family, who they're basically in charge of Western and Central USA and Canada, so a big rectangle there. And yeah, so I guess I'll say this just to put it in context. The social structure in at least in the Carlisle family, and I mean you'd imagine most other families as well, is that there's a family who's up top. You have the serfs, who are a middle class, who are sort of protected by the family because they serve them and they're devout, and then you have everybody else who lives there who's just trying to survive, and they call them the waste. So yeah, our story, specifically in Lazarus, focuses around the Carlisle family's Lazarus, which is one of their children, Eve Forever Carlisle, which is the person on the cover. She basically, her job as the Lazarus is to every family has a Lazarus, and her job is to just kind of be their own personal muscle, I guess. She goes around exacting punishment on anybody who goes against the family and their values and stuff like that. So Eve is just a total badass, and basically, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just give you a broad idea. She learns throughout the book that all of her abilities and skills might not totally be natural, and then as she goes along, she sort of starts to doubt her family, and just which, by the way, her family is a total clusterfuck of people. All of her brothers and sisters sort of have their own shady agendas and doing their own things. So yeah, that's enough of that. I don't really want to talk too much about the story, so let's just jump into the review. Okay, so one of the things that I really love about this book is that most writers, if they were given the chance to write a post-apocalyptic or dystopian future type book, they would hit you with, and I don't want to generalize, but you know, most of the time, to get, you know, to keep the reader informed, they would hit you with pages and pages of exposition. But Greg Rucka is really efficient in that he uses what little he tells you, what little the reader knows, in unison with the art, to let them discover all of that stuff on their own. Ultimately, this will lead to less actual reading, and whether you like to read less or more is up to you. I'm not saying that this book is you know, just a picture book. It's obviously, it's, you know, there's words in it, but I would imagine most people, when reading a comic book, would not like to be hit with, you know, pages of paragraphs of exposition. For me, that aspect really is what pushes this book above the rest, because a good writer artist like combo can make any book enjoyable. For instance, a book like Batman, which has Snyder, who is amazing, and Capullo, who is amazing, working on it. Personally, for me, like I love Batman, don't get me wrong, and you know, I will keep picking that book up. But a book like that recently, with the past couple story arcs, not that we know much about Endgame, has been kind of lacking story-wise, just for me. Like, that's probably a personal thing, most people enjoy it. But it has a really good writer and artist, so the book will ultimately be really good. A book like Lazarus has that combination of writer and artist, but also the story itself is really, really good. So it just kind of brings it all together in a like masterpiece of a book. And I think this can sort of translate to all independents, whereas, like, don't get me wrong, I love my superhero stories, but over time, those books get kind of stale. And I think that's a pretty, like, I don't know if most people would agree with me, but, you know, whether it's immediately or it takes time, the book will regain balance, the good guys will always win. Now, some people are better at blocking out sort of prior knowledge when reading a superhero story arc, which, you know, I can understand makes it more enjoyable for them, but where books like this win is for the people who are kind of tired of that and they're not as good at blocking it out. No one knows anything because a story's future and ending are ambiguous until it happens. People get hooked because, like, literally no one character is safe. Like, take a look at a book like The Walking Dead. The next story arc could actually be earth-shattering. Alright, so moving on. Like any good book, it highlights subtly, like, issues that are pretty relevant in, like, real life today. You know, like, you've got, like basically, like, the class system. It's like, you know, it shows the division of the wealth, and that's something that you can totally see, you know, in real life. You also have the characters who are great. Eve, who is, ironically, the most human of all of her siblings. And like I mentioned previously, her siblings, like, they're all doing their own thing. I really, like, I don't want to say it, I really don't want to spoil it, because I really want you to go and read this book. But, they're a pretty fucked up bunch. There's also, like, quite a bit to sort of relate to in this book. Like, if you look at the base of Eve as a character, she's just a person like any other, starting to doubt the validity of what she's doing and what her life is, because she's discovering new facts and things that are making her change her mind, sort of like a regular person, you know, would do. And it's setting up to be a really good character arc within the book. Thankfully for us, though, she does remain a total badass. Alright, as for the actual presentation, because it being an oversized hardcover needs to have some sort of incentives, is really nice. The art is blown up beautifully. They include a map that shows sort of the division of power between the families, like, you know, where everybody's located. The cover and back are nice. Personally, not my favorite choice of color. The white's a little bit bland, but the actual art is good, and the design with the DNA strand is pretty cool as well. The spine is just a little bit weird to say. The spine is good if you're going to be displaying this on your shelf, as you should be. Oh, and I also wrote in my notes, the paper quality is great. I don't know why I put that there. I mean, all oversized hardcovers will have that nice, thick, glossy paper. But yeah, anyways, my one nitpick is that, like, the Saga trades, Image shrunk the art, the cover art on the pages that display them. I don't know if there's a reason for this. If somebody would know and, like, tell me in the comments, maybe it'll shed some light on it. But yeah, they've done that a couple times. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but yeah. So yeah, that's about it. I don't want to drag this out too long, but I hope I got my opinion across. I wouldn't really know about how to rate this. I wouldn't really know how to go about, sorry, I think I said that weird, rating this like on 10, but I'd say it's a definite read. You don't even have to pick it up, just do yourself a favor and like go and just loaf in your comic book shop for like an hour and read through the first trade, or if a friend has it, whatever. You really want to read this book. It's really good. As for the hardcover, if you don't feel like shelling out 35 bucks, which I think is the retail, Amazon it's like 20 to 25. That's where I got it. Like usually if I can, I like to buy stuff at my comic book shop, but sometimes I just really want something and it's so much cheaper on Amazon, so I just go that route. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope this turns out good because I bought this camera for this. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I don't know what my next video will be. I think I'm gonna shoot it tomorrow. Like I kind of enjoyed this so far, so I'm gonna look at my books. Maybe I'll review something or do like a what's on my list, like my comic shop list, what I pick up weekly. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah.